Hello, everyone. Megan McCann here, and I'm so excited to be here with this beautiful boss babe here. She is my Idaho soul sister, and oh my God, I just can't believe that you're 2.5 hours from me. Nobody knows.
I know. I feel like we know each other, we vibe and align with each other, and we haven't even met in person. So that's the beauty of the internet and finding your sisters all over the world. So yeah.
Absolutely. So, if you're just tuning in, this is Megan McCann here, and I am interviewing this incredible woman right here from Boise, Idaho. She is a success and confidence coach. She is an author. She is a speaker. And this is interesting. She's a professional house plant killer, which I am too. We have so much in common. I'm here with the lovely mother, Charity Majors. Hello.
Hi, thank you so much, Megan, for having me. I'm so excited to be here and to chat all things amazing and epic. So
Yes,
thanks.
and I feel like you're one of those people that I could talk to for like 5 hours, and then that would just be the scratching the surface.
Totally.
We'll try to keep it to like 10 minutes. Cool.
Sounds good. If we can.
Okay, if we can, we might go longer. But Charity has been selected to speak at the Soul Success Summit in Santa Barbara this April. And I'm just so thrilled. You know, we have women who are flying in from not only all over the country, but all over the world. And Elisa and I have gone through a very kind of invigorating but intense interview process. And the minute that I met Charity, I met you through Jennifer Luddington, who I know she's one of your dearest friends. She's one of my best friends. And again, it was like the minute we started speaking, I was like, yes, someone speaks the same language as me.
I love it. I know. I felt the same way. Like Jen was like, you should do this thing, and like sent me the link, and I was like reading what the Soul Success Summit was and who it was for and the women that were going. And I'm just like, these are my people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Charity, for those that are watching, would you mind sharing with us a little bit about yourself and how you help people and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. Thanks. So I help people uncover their gifts, unlock their purpose, and unleash their potential to make a meaningful impact by creating a business and a life that they love.
I love that. That's beautiful. And how do you help people specifically? Because I know there are coaches out there, and some of them run groups one-on-one. You're an author, you're a speaker. What is your main vehicle to support people in achieving just that?
Well, I'll give you a little bit of a backstory because I think it kind of defines more of what I do now. I've always have been kind of a big dreamer. I've always known that I was meant for more, that I kind of had like, I was always like the weird one that like wanted to talk about hopes and dreams, and I didn't care about the weather and the surface talk. And so, and I was always really, really intrigued with like different personality tests and what does this mean about me and what does this mean about you? I'd like try and get all my family members to take the color code and take this thing and take that thing. And it evolved into me really getting good at or starting to understand that I have this huge potential inside of me, but it's my job to uncover that, right? And to tap into that and to know myself and to know my gifts and how I can show up in the world. But I'm also really, really, really good at doing that for other people. And so it's seeing the gold. I like to call it gold mining. So I'd like to see the gold in them and kind of dig away the limiting beliefs, the mindset stuff, the places that we lack confidence.
Mm-hmm.
pull out those gold nuggets of potential, pull out those gold nuggets of worth. And then I'm also very strategic, and I also totally geek out on business stuff as well. And so teaching people then to, right, take their gold nuggets, which it can typically be the hard lessons that we've learned in life. That's where the most gold is from. And using that to then turn into storytelling, or turn that into a business, turn that into an online course, into a blog, into a podcast, and then strategically grow their influence based off of that stuff. So, and so now I do it more online, which I used to do a lot more one-on-one and in-person appointments, but now I do it online just because I know that it can reach more people. And I know that I'm only one person, and I can only fit a certain amount of appointments in, just in my calendar. And I know that this message is meant for more. And so I do that with my podcast. I do that with my books. And then I'm really, really excited about the next. I have a group training course that's about to kick off, where I do live training, and it is the 14-day, it's 14 days to unshakable confidence, which is the foundation of anything that we do in our life.
I love that. And I don't think anybody has ever made struggle sound so sexy before. But turning it into gold nuggets. And I think that's so important to realize. And often we don't realize that until after, because at the moment, it seems like a pile of shit, right?
Totally.
And so can you explain maybe like an example, either, from personal story, or maybe one of your clients where it seemed like a shit storm, and then after you were like, oh my gosh, that was the most incredible thing that could have happened to me?
For sure. So probably one of the hardest things I have ever had to go through was last year. And I actually experienced a miscarriage, and we lost a child. And it was, right, it's like when we're put under pressure, what's underneath will come out. And there is nothing like the pressure. There is nothing like the crushing of the loss of a child or loved one. I lost both my grandparents last year, and then a couple months later had the miscarriage. And so I went through a lot of loss. And it brought up these feelings of, and even connected, right? Because this is what our brain does. It brought up these feelings of being broken, and that I didn't have what it took, and that I wasn't enough to keep my baby safe. And it led to all of these other stories in my life, which, yes, throughout my personal development journey of over 15 years, I've worked on these things, but it comes in layers, right? We can work on the outer layer, and then those get peeled away, and then it's the next layer, and those get peeled away. But it really brought up even more of those layers of those limiting beliefs that I don't belong, that I don't have what it takes, that I don't have the confidence, that, it's just all of this stuff that throughout my life, it's these little stories, these little limiting beliefs that get implanted into our soul. And under that pressure of all of that loss, like it became a hot mess. And I was a hot mess. And I was in the deepest, darkest place of depression, and not wanting to get out of bed, and not even, I did not grieve with grace for a little while. Let's just say that. And probably about a month into it, I was finally like, I can't, like, I have at the time he was 1, I have a 2-year-old now, like I have a husband, like what is, I've got to find something to either pull myself out of, or like, I can't stay here. And so I finally hit a point where, and it was an interesting time, because in the dark times of me ugly crying in my bed and not even wanting to get up, and having this internal monologue of, you're broken, full of shame, you're not enough, you don't have what it takes, right? It was also this also a very sweet time of where, again, for you, fill in the blank, God, spirit, source, universe, purple unicorn that farts rainbows, whatever you want to make it.
Yeah.
Right. So it was also this very sweet and special time where that voice of truth was able to come in and reaffirm and say, you are enough and you do have what it takes and you are perfectly designed and fashioned for just a time as this. And so it was actually a really sweet time of knowing who I am, how I was created, and where I can put my confidence in. Right? Because if I put it in all this other stuff, if I put it in myself, if I put it in all the fancy degrees and certifications, which you guys, I've got plenty of them. If I put my confidence in that, or if I put my confidence in my body, or if I put my confidence, right, in these external things compared to putting it into our source, into God, into that voice of truth, again, you fill in the blank, all right, that the universe has your back, has my back, that it's all happening for a reason. So it was this really interesting time where I was put under a lot of pressure, crushing pressure. But then, and now looking back, there have been so many lessons and so many gold nuggets and so many gifts that came from that hard time that, to be honest, I would go through it again because the pressure really brought out the next level of who I was and who I needed to be. And I really started to understand that, gosh, like, sure, you can see the bumper sticker things that life is a miracle and live every day to your fullest, but damn,
that's not
life is a miracle. And you have a message. I have a message. We are here for a divine, God-given purpose, and it's up to us to figure out what the heck that is and how we can show up in the world in a bigger and a brighter way and use the mess and turn that into our message and connect with others and serve others in a and to not stay safe, not play small, not dim our light just because we either intimidate others or others don't get our dreams or whatever that might mean. So there are gifts that always come from every single lesson. And so having gone through that last year, it's almost like now when hard times come, yes, it's emotional. And yes, I kind of have my freak out days and my ugly cries, but then I'm able to like take a step back and say, okay, what's the gift? What's the lesson? You know, and I journal through the hot mess times. And it's like, because then that gets me an insight into not only my head, but I know if I feel it, other people have gone through it too, because there's nothing new under the sun. I struggle with the same things you guys struggle with. And so it allows me to connect with those that I serve on a deeper level, because when I write things or when I say things or in my podcast or when I speak, they're like, you're in my head, like you're totally speaking to me, and that connection, human to human, soul to soul, is made, and that's where the magic happens.
I got so much from that, and I think, you know, my biggest takeaway based on this conversation is using that dark side, that ugly side that so many of us try to avoid. And I know me personally, I had to be a light for so many people for so long, and no problem, we got this, everything's cool, it's positive. And the reality is, it's not all the time, and you get to honor that. And even though we're spiritual and we're coaches and we empower people, it's that dark side, and it's okay to admit that that happens, because that's what's going to reach people, and that's what makes us human and makes you feel like the ugly crying. Like ugly crying is so therapeutic, because it makes us remember that we are human and we have flaws and we do feel, rather than shoving everything down and just trying to be that light.
Yeah.
So I just feel so connected to your story, and I've never had a miscarriage that I know of. But on the other side, for me, it took a long time to have my second child. And I had those same thoughts of, what's wrong with me? Am I not good enough to have another child? Am I not deserving? Am I not worthy? I had all of these conversations going on in my head that led to depression, and a part of me that I had shoved down, and I didn't even think it was there anymore. I thought I had gotten past it.
Yeah.
And so I just want to thank you for sharing your story, because I know it's not easy, but the more that we open up about stuff that's uncomfortable, the more we can reach out to people who are shoving it down and just trying to pretend like it's no problem, and then but internally breaking down. So
yeah, no, of course. And I know it can be, there's actually a lot of women that have gone through miscarriage, but it can also relate to the loss of a job, the loss of a marriage, the loss of a friendship, the loss of, a family member, a friend. It can all translate into this putting pressure on us emotionally, and what's underneath is going to come out. And it's not ever easy. It doesn't ever squeeze you to where it's like, okay, like this is now what I got to work on. Like I got to work on my shame, and I got to work on my limiting self-beliefs, and detach those and all of that stuff. But so it doesn't necessarily just have to be the loss of a child. And I think that exactly what you're saying, like, yes, we all have these unique stories, but they all kind of come back to similar points of pain and struggle and limiting beliefs and not being enough and not having what it takes. And ultimately then, like our biggest fear is to be rejected and then to die. And this actually comes from when we are infants. If we are rejected, we come into the world so dependent on other people and so helpless that if we are rejected by our caregivers, that will ultimately lead to death. So that fear is real, and it's there for a reason, but it doesn't necessarily serve us anymore as adults, but it still does hold us back because we haven't figured out what those limiting beliefs are. We haven't tuned into the ego voice and what it's saying and how it's holding us back and how it's keeping us playing small and how it's having us dim our light.
Yeah.
Oh. So we're actually a lot more similar than we are different. Based off of that stuff.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. And like I said, we could probably talk for 5 or 6 or 7 hours about this.
Totally.
I kind of want to. And I know that you're going to go really deep at the Soul Success Summit this April in Santa Barbara. And I'm just super honored to have you, because I feel like you have so much rawness and so much truth to share to powerful women out there who are just wanting permission to have these kind of uncomfortable conversations, so that we can in turn grow and change the world together. So if you are just tuning in and you're, like, what's the Soul Success Summit? I'm thrilled to share this with you, because it will be the most amazing breakthrough weekend of your life. I truly believe that the Soul Success Summit is a weekend event in Santa Barbara for female change makers, women who are wanting to impact the planet. They're entrepreneurs, they're CEOs, they're journalists, anybody who, and I love like your Facebook group, Meant for More, your podcast, Meant for More. Anybody who feels like they have a burning desire, like they're meant for more, that's who this weekend is for. We have women who are flying in from all over the world to share their voice and to speak. I mean, we have some powerhouse boss ladies out there who are flying in from Zimbabwe, from the UK, from Italy, from Australia, and really to share their truth and to understand that we thrive and we make change, we make progress, not when we're behind our computer and posting and whatever, but actually when we're connected and when we're united and when we're locking arms together, I really 100% believe that. The weekend will be a blend of yoga, meditation, mindset with this is how you change the world. This is how you make more money. This is how you automate your system. So we like to call it the feminine balanced with the masculine piece to your business. And it's just going to be truly amazing to have everybody there and to connect. And it's not just a weekend. It's really, the summit is really the beginning of a whole new rebirth of you. And it's just been so incredible to see since last summit how women have just completely transformed and changed their lives and transformed their impact that they can make on the planet. So again, I'm blessed to have you. And
I just want to jump in and I just want to say, like, I love that it's the combination, right? Because you can have the most amazing message, the most amazing story, the most amazing website, course, book, whatever it might be. But if the marketing or the strategy or the funnel or the technology or if that's not there, nobody's going to know about this thing. So it's got to be blended and it's got to be both. And that's, I'm so excited. I can't wait to just meet everyone. And environment is stronger than willpower. Exactly what you're saying, right? The success isn't going to come from behind a computer. It's going to come when we collectively come together and bounce ideas off of each other and get this amazing wisdom from other people who have, who might be a couple steps ahead in the journey or have learned something or, right. They've gone through the learning curve of the 10 years of the whatever it is. Like I've gone through probably the longest learning curve of figuring out like this
me too.
of like online courses and how to like get a message out online and how to create this thing and there's strategy for funnels and all of this crap. Like I was the girl probably 7 years ago. I was setting alarms on my phone to like remind myself to send email number 4 and to remind myself to send email number 5. Like I have fumbled through like the long way around. And guys, guess what? There's easier ways to do things and you're going to hear it at the Soul Success Summit.
Absolutely. And one common thing you will see from all of the most successful entrepreneurs out there on the planet is they're resourceful. And so to have your community of people who, you need a website built, you need the best website developer, she's there. You need a legal resource. We've got our legal resource. You need a PR person. We've got our PR person. You need someone to help you co-write a book. We've got our authors. We've got our journalists. So in essence, again, the community is your vehicle to be resourceful so that you can
Totally. I actually just watched this great training from Russell Brunson, who he's like marketing genius. And, and he had this great, actually did a Facebook Live about it yesterday. So it's so funny that we're talking about this, but he was saying, right, like we get on this trajectory, especially as entrepreneurs, like, okay, we've got these big hopes and dreams and all this stuff that we want to do. And we get going and all of a sudden we get blocked because, okay, I don't know how to do that. Like, I don't know how to make the website or I don't know how to do the thing or the whatever. And so then we go into the how, right? We take this detour into trying to figure out how to do it and how to run Photoshop and how to make an image and how to write a blog, right? Blah, 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 into the how instead of the who. Like we got to find the who, like who can make the website, who can make the funnel, who can do the marketing, because when you find the who's instead of the how's, you're going to get to that dream faster instead of get stuck in these detours and learning all the things that you don't need to learn anymore. And it's probably not going to be as good as if you're going to hire it out anyways.
I learned that the hard way. For real.
Yeah.
I know everything about everything.
Oh, girl, you need both.
It's kept me here.
Totally.
Cool. So if you are a friend of Charity's and you would love to see her in Santa Barbara, we have a special treat for you. When you go to the website, thesoulsuccesssummit.com, and you enter her first and last name in the coupon code, you get $100 off your ticket.
Woo!
Woo! Because we all love to save money, right?
Heck yes, I love a good sale.
Good sale. So charity majors, enter that in the coupon code. You save $100, and we would love to see you there. Tickets are selling fast, and it will sell out. So don't wait. Come join us.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you guys come join us.
Woohoo! Charity, thank you so much for geeking out with me and getting raw, getting dirty, and getting real. I just have so much fun chatting with you, and I just cannot wait to hug you in person in Santa Barbara, but I know it'll be before then because I'm going to come out to Boise and visit you.
Yes, you better.
I will.
I know, I can't wait too. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Have a beautiful day.
Thanks, you too. Bye, guys.
Bye.